Hello students, welcome to online classes of Geography of class 10. I have already started the chapter Manufacturing Industry. This is my 5th class. The topics to be discussed today, the two more agro-based industry, jute industry and sugar industry. So let us proceed with the first topic. That is jute industry. Now, we should know what is the status of our jute industry in India. Now, India is the largest producer of raw jute and the jute goods, and India's position as an it should be India's position, that is India occupy second position. I am just writing it over here, it is missed out. India's position is second as an exporter after Bangladesh. The first jute mill was established near Kolkata, that is at Rishran in 1855, and 3/4 of the jute producing areas went to Bangladesh after Pakistan in 1947. What does this indicate? That the maximum jute producing areas are presently there in Bangladesh, and only 1/4 is part is there in India. So what is the resultant? There is the availability of the raw material for the jute industry is comparatively less. Now next, as Hooghly Basin, or what we can say that Risra, which is situated near river Hooghly, and the maximum concentration of the jute mills is surrounding that Hooghly Basin only. So what is the reason that why the jute industries are localized nearby or it is just adjacent to the river bank of the Hooghly? And Hooghly is the distributary of river Ganga, which is there in West Bengal. So why it is being localized over there? First of all, it is because jute is basically a water intensive crop, and the climatic condition is supporting the growth of the jute industry, the jute crops. So as it is closer to the jute growing areas, so the industries have been developed over there. So that is why the Hooghly Basin is the ideal site for the development of the jute industries. Second, the water transport, which is considered as the cheapest means of transport, they are getting the facilities of the water transport, as well as it is well connected with the roadways and the railways too. That means they are getting the facilities of the land transport. Abundant water supply for the processing of the raw jute. Water supply is needed to be processed to be needed at the time of the processing of the raw jute. So it is easily available. It is easily available from the Hooghly, that is the Hooghly river basins. So that is why it is situated over there. Then we are having the densely populated states. The most one is West Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, adjoining to that Uttar Pradesh. So easy labor supply is there from these densely populated areas. Now Kolkata is one of the most important urban center, and from there they are getting the facilities of banking, insurance. And lastly, Kolkata is a riverine port. That means a port that has been developed over a river. So being a riverine port, it gives the facilities for the exporting purposes or exporting of the jute goods, because it is getting the facilities of the port that is there supported by the riverine port Kolkata. So these are the locational factors for the growing of the jute mills near Hooghly Basin. Now, as there are so many advantages for the growth of jute industry, but jute industry is facing lots of challenges. So what are the challenges faced by the jute industry? Number one, the updated machineries are not there. Even the technology that is being used It's very outdated, old and inefficient machineries are there, so they are not getting good quality of the products, neither the production is too very large. Number 2, the demand of the jute products is gradually declining. Why? Comparatively, jute products are costlier compared to the synthetic products. So, the demand is gradually declining, and then they are getting a stiff competition with the substitute or the synthetic substitute in the international market, and the Indian jute industry is getting the competition for the other jute going, that is other jute producing countries like Bangladesh, where 3/4 of the jute producing areas of the India is located over there. Philippines, Thailand, Egypt and Brazil are the other countries which are giving the tough competition with their jute products, because our quality is not up to the mark. So, we have to face the all these shortcomings from the international market. Now, as we are having we are facing so many challenges. So, what is the resultant? The demand is continuously declining. Now, government has taken a step to increase the internal demand. So, what are the steps taken by the Indian government to increase the internal demand? Just to increase the internal demand, the government has introduced a policy termed as National Jute Policy, which was implemented in the year 2005. And in this policy, the basic objective was to increase the production of the jute and to improve the quality of the jute goods. That was the main objective. And secondly, it made mandatory, that means the government has made mandatory for all the government organization to use the jute bags for the packaging purposes, means the jute material for the packaging purposes. And then the jute products used to be diversified. That means it should not be concentrated only in that part of the West Bengal. It should be supplied throughout the country, throughout the different parts of the world. Or if we are able to upgrade our technology, we can compete in the international market by improving our quality. So, the jute goods should be diversified. Now, one more very important benefit of the jute goods is there upon that synthetic substitute, because synthetic substitutes are not biodegradable. Those are non-biodegradable products, and jute is a biodegradable product. So, if we are using jute products, if it is getting destroyed and if it is there over the land surface, it is not damaging the environment. It is eco-friendly product. So, just to have a global concern of the environment, then the importance of the jute products is gradually increasing. So, these are the measures that has been taken by the government to increase the internal demand of the jute products. Now, the next is the countries which are considered as the importers of our jute products. Number 1 is USA, followed by Canada, Ghana, Saudi Arabia, United Kingdom and Australia. These are the important importers of the Indian jute products. So, here we have completed the second agro-based industry, that is jute industry. So, the way the topics are given will be the questions, means you are going to prepare your that is the notes according to the topic that is given. So, the question can follow according to the topic, that what is the status of the jute industry, what are the factors that influences the localization of the jute industry near the Hooghly Basin. Number 3, what are the challenges faced by the jute industry. Number 4, how the internal demands of the jute products are being increased, or what are the measures taken by the government to increase the internal demands. And lastly, list out the importers of the Indian jute products of the entire world, within the entire world. So, these are the some questions related to the topics that I have discussed. Now, let us proceed to the next, that is the last agro-based industry as per the syllabus, that is sugar industry. Status of sugar industry. Now, sugar industry occupies second position as a world producer of the sugar. Okay, it's as our country is in a second position, but in terms of production of sugar, but the byproducts of the sugar are gur and khansari. Good, even the molasses are also there. Good and molasses, good is a solid and the molten part is termed as the molasses, and khansari, we are having those the big cubes of that sugar, like we term it as a misri, that is khansari. So for producing the byproducts of the sugar, India occupies first position. This is the status of the sugar industry. Second, the locational factors. Now the sugar cane, which are comparatively very big in size and heavy. So obviously sugar mills should be associated nearby the sugar cane areas, proximity of the sugar cane mills. It should be proximity of the sugar cane fields. It should be sugar cane fields, not the mills, sugar cane fields. Now next, cheap means of transport, because they have to transport a huge that is the raw material from the field areas to the industrial area. So if the transportational network is cheap, then the cost of production will be lower, and as it is basically labor intensive industry, that means maximum work is done with the help of the labor, that is transferring the products, that is the raw material from the place of that is producing areas to the industries, and then the part of its loading and unloading, everything with the help of the labor. So it is considered as a labor industry. As a result, cheap labor supply should be there nearby the industrial site. So these are some of the important locational factors where sugar industry should be localized. Now next, it is distribution of the sugar mills. Now the leading producer of the sugar industry, where 60% of the sugar mills are situated, that is number 1, Uttar Pradesh, which is the leading sugar mill industry in our country. In the northern part, Uttar Pradesh, and in the southern part, that is Maharashtra. Second is Maharashtra. After Uttar Pradesh, in northern part it is Bihar, and Maharashtra is the leading producer of the sugar in the southern India, followed by Karnataka, then comes Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, then other states are Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana and Madhya Pradesh. These are some of the important states where the sugar mills are localized. Now the nature of the sugar industry. Sugar industry is seasonal in nature. Now what does this indicate? That like that of other industry, the work in the sugar industry is not there for the entire year round. Why? Because sugar cane is an annual crop. It has a long duration of maturity. It needs a long duration of maturity, nearly 10 to 12 months, nearly 1 year or 10 months. So it is an annual crop. So unless and until the raw material is reaching to the industry, there is no work to be done in the industrial aspect. As a result, the industry is having their work after the harvesting season of the sugar cane. So it is, and we cannot store out the sugar cane for a long period of duration. Why? Because the more there is a storing or the haulage is there, the that is the sucrose content present in the sugar cane will dried up. Sucrose content means the juicy content of the sugar cane will dried up. So when the juicy content or the sucrose contents will dried up, the quality production will not be there, neither there will be quantity production of the sugar. So the moment the harvesting period is over, at that time only the sugar is being produced after following the crushing of the sugar cane. That is why it is seasonal in nature. Now next, sugar mills are weight losing. As I said, we cannot keep the sugar cane waiting. The more the waiting, the less the sugar and that is the juicy content will be there. It will gradually lose its weight, and the year round they doesn't have the work. That is the nature of the sugar industry. Now ideal sector for the sugar industry, as it is not having the work year round, for this reason sugar industry is best suited to the cooperative sector. Cooperative sector means a group of people, they are the main producer of the that is the sugarcane crops, and they are the suppliers in the raw materials in the sugar industry. So that is why it is best suited for the as a cooperative sector due to its seasonal nature. Secondly, farmers are the only workers. Those who are working in the agricultural plot, they are only the workers in the sugar industry. So when they are engaged in the agricultural work, no one is present in the sugar industry and there is no work to be performed in the sugar industry. That is why it is best suited to the cooperative. And thirdly, to save the producer from the exploitation of the money lenders. Now, when to save the producer, those who are producing, they are only supplying the raw material. So the extra workers, if they are engaged in the industry, so they have to borrow the money for getting the raw materials. So as a result, the cost of production will increase. So just to save this tendency of excessive expenditure from the money lenders, the sector best suited for the sugar mills is the cooperative sector. So hopefully the concept is clear to everybody. Now next, sugar industry, as we studied, that it is maximum localized in the northern India. Now in northern India, the cooperative sector is not best suited, rather it is best suited in southern India. Now why it is best suited in southern India? Because in southern India, the zone of the soil is black soil, where the two prominent crop is there, one is cotton and another one is sugarcane. Now where there is sugarcane, the entire field is occupied by the sugarcane because it is an annual crop. No other crop can be cultivated over there. So as a result, the whole that is the laborers or the farmers are entirely engaged with the production of the sugarcane. That is the main reason they are concentrating more on the sugarcane. And when it is there in the northern plain region or the northern India, the alluvial soil gives supplies to the best results to the wheat production of paddy and other crops too. So they cannot concentrate on one crop throughout the year. As a result, though there is a 60% mills are localized over there, but nowadays there is a tendency to shift the mills from northern India to southern India because of this cooperative nature or the sector of the sugar mills. That is one reason. Secondly, the sucrose content is increasing more in southern India. Why? Because it is continuously influenced by the sea breezes. That it is a coastal area and it is continuously getting an influence of sea breezes. More the impact of the sea breezes, more the sucrose content will be there, because the climatic condition is moderate and it will not get dried up. Third, the moderate climatic condition increases the long crushing season. Now if you just keep the canes for a little bit longer duration, it will not get dried up, it will not lose its weight because the temperature condition is moderate. So it gets a long duration of the crushing period, and that is why there is a tendency to shift the sugar industry from the northern side to southern India. Now there are some problems or the challenges that are being faced by the sugar industry. Now the one very important challenge is seasonal in nature, because it does not able to produce the products throughout the year. Number two, they are also having old and inefficient methods of production. Number three, if the canes are delayed, then obviously the quantity production will not be there. And number four, unable to maximize the use of badges. Now badges means after the crushing, the straw that is left out, the straw that is left out, that is termed as badges. So more the crushing, more the that is the leftover, the residue is there. And if it is dumped out on the land surface, then obviously though it is a degradable material, but then too it comparatively creates bit of pollution. So just to avoid this pollution, nowadays there are some techniques to use the badges. How? If the straw is there and if we are just using it to heat it, means we are burning it to heat it up, some sort of energy generation, that is termed as biofuel. You have already studied as a biofuel in the previous chapters maybe. So it is a biofuel, and how it is possible? By burning the badges or the residue after the crushing of the sugar cane. In this way we can solve one problem. Number two, there are some techniques. The straw can be used, means the leftover badges can be used, and alcohol is being extracted out from this badges, and those alcohol are used in the pharmaceuticals for preparing medicines. That is the second usage. Third usage is there, that the badges can be used to convert, the pulp of this badges can be used to prepare a very coarse category of the paper, means a very coarse cardboard like structure paper. So in this way the badges which are left out can be reused and can be benefited to the society. These so it can create less problem in the environment. Now I have discussed about all the topics related to the topic that was listed out for the discussion of today's class, that is for the jute industry and the sugar industry. You just note down all the points that is being given in the PPT in this order. If you are having any doubts, just mention it in the comment section, and thank you for following my today's class. Have a nice day.